Take two. My name is LouAnn, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my kitchen. That coffee's a brewing, and there's some sweet iced tea in that ice box. So today is Mix It Up Saturday, and today I will be bringing you two recipes and a little bit of history on one of the recipes, sort of, kind of. So let me turn the camera around and let me show you what I'm making. Like I said, two different mixes. The very first recipe I'm going to share with you is a homemade yellow cake mix. I know I've shared one with you, but this is a different one. So I've already got 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to add 1 1/4 cup of sugar. And then I'm going to add 3 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. So the only difference between the other yellow cake mix and this one is this adds a teaspoon of salt. So that is added, and so I'm going to go show you the next recipe, which is a dumped chicken recipe. But I will show you what I make with these two different mixes tomorrow, so stay tuned. So this is in this book. In 1842, J. Fowler of Baltimore patents self-rising flour, the beginning of the mix. 1920, a corn muffin mix was developed by Mr. McCollum of New Brunswick, New Jersey, who tests products at church services. 1921, General Mills creates Betty Crocker Persna. 1929, the Duff Company of Pittsburgh, a molasses manufacturer, creates gingerbread mix. Drying molasses in a vacuum oven also introduces white spice and devil's food cake mixes between 1930 and 1936. General Mills, 1943, General Mills begins Betty Crocker cake mix research. 1943, baking mixes plagued by poor packaging tested for the use in the U.S. Armed Forces by industry and government team. 1946, Duncan Hines experimental cake mix testing begins. 1947, General Mills introduced single-layer Betty Crocker ginger cake mix. 1948, General Mills introduces Devil's Food and party cake mixes. 1948, Pillsbury introduces a white layer cake mix and a chocolate fudge cake mix a month later. 1949, Grand National Recipe and Baking Contest from Pillsbury First Bake Off. Wow, that's interesting. 1951, Duncan Hines' first cake mix. The 3-star special stuns competitors as it captures 48% of the market in 3 weeks. 1951, Pillsbury introduces a yellow cake mix. 1952, Betty Crocker yellow and white cake mix come into the market. 1952, Pillsbury Angel Food Cake Mix arrives. 1954, Betty Crocker Answer Cake offers foil pan mix and frosting for busy consumer, discontinued by 1968. 1955, Michigan's Chelsea Millen introduced the Jiffy cake mixes in yellow, white, and devil's food. And I cannot find in our local store the Jiffy cake mixes. Just cannot find them. And we have 2 different grocery stores. 1956, Procter & Gamble buys Duncan Hines mixes from Nebraska and consolidate Mills in Omaha. I only thought Procter & Gamble always made soaps. Very interesting. 1958, Betty Crocker unveils the chiffon cake mix. 1964, Betty Crocker reformulates mix, add new emulsified shortenings. 1966, Tunnel of Fudge cake puts the bundt pan on the map. 1967, new Pillsbury mix cuts the mixing time in half. 1971, Pillsbury Bake Off winner Pecan Pie Surprise Bars uses mix and begins bar mania. 1974, Pillsbury Bake Off winner Chocolate Cherry Bars brings cake mix doctoring to the forefront. 1977, Pillsbury introduces putting in the mix layer cakes. General Mills follows. 1983, the friendship cake calling for a mix and a fruit starter. Most requested recipe from Betty Crocker Test Kitchen. I never heard of the friendship cake. Might have to find that one, see if we could try it. 1988, Pillsbury Bake Off winner chocolate praline layer cake. Epitomizes the indulgent 1980s. 1996, Pillsbury offers $1 million for a grand prize at Bake Off. 1998, Aroa Foods of Columbus, Ohio buys Duncan Hine cake mixes from Procter & Gamble. Some of that is very interesting. I might just make this a video in itself. The history of cake mixes from the cake mix doctor. That might be a good idea. So I think I'm going to make two different videos. Use the history of cake mixes and then the two different mixes. Okay, this other mix is going to be a dump chicken, which you will see what I turn it into tomorrow. I've got 2 thighs. They were whole thighs. It was on sale. So I got 2 thighs, deboned them, and cut them up in chunks. I need to add to this a clove of garlic. I got a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, a tablespoon and a half, well, about a tablespoon of ginger. Then I am adding, let's go ahead and do this vinegar. 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar and a tablespoon and a half of cider vinegar. Then I'm going to add about 1/3 cup of soy sauce. Then, if you want, you can mush this around, put it in the freezer, and it'll be ready. Be sure to mark this is a teriyaki chicken. I am going to be making a teriyaki type stir fry with this. So, and that video will be tomorrow. So that is my 2 mixes, a dump chicken and a cake mix. So for what I'm going to do with the cake mix, just stay tuned for tomorrow.